All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Thursday, September 16th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Great to see Chuck, Bonnie, Norman, Patrick, Nancy, who picked up a nice profit just now on the stock LPTX. We got a lot to talk about here today, and great to see all of us otherwise live inside the Cyber Group room. And if you're joining us today on Facebook Live or YouTube, our social streams today, welcome on back. So for right now, we'll start off with the stock on the screen as always. Life. Not really the best move right now. Ended up making a nice little pop after the market opened up. Was a nice pre-market play after 9 a.m. at least. So hey, it treated us pretty nicely here today. Oh, here I got my weekly chart up. 1 second. It treated us very nicely today, or at least in the morning, and it treated us really nicely back from earlier in the week. Potential setup off of 10, perhaps if we see more buying coming in off and another breakout from 10, perhaps. But you know what? I'll keep it on the side list. I know that it is shortable right now, and it was from this morning. So, perhaps this could be a great opportunity either way. I wouldn't be surprised if I do put this on the main list at the end of it all. But what we'll do is at least go right from top to bottom. We don't have class coming up later on today. We don't really have to talk about Bitcoin until tomorrow. But hey, we'll start right from the top because although life treated us very nicely earlier today, personally speaking, and not just personally speaking, for a bunch of us live inside the trading room today, this OPAD stock, oh my goodness. I mean, I know I had a little glitch yesterday on the stock INDP, and my charts are still out of whack. So unfortunately, for the crazy 300% mover yesterday, INDP, I wasn't able to trade that. You know what? You could have your INDP. That's completely fine because I got my OPAD trade here. So you can see that I have my chart all lined up, and I did a lot of this work in pre-market. So, these are all lines I put up preemptively leading into the market open. This is my main trading platform that you're seeing here. But ended up making a really strong under and over move, a slingshot from 14. I took an entry early on today from 14. I ended up taking an entry a bit later on into the morning right here off of 11, or I'm sorry, off of 16, I should say. I don't know where 11 came in from, but 16 made for a great entry here. Later on into the afternoon, myself and Patrick were watching this right off of 1650 initially. That was the opening halt print from this stock. Oh no, actually, I think that was the opening bell print actually leading into the market open today. Nonetheless, this stock has been trading really, really well. You might think this is a super volatile stock, and it is. Doesn't make it necessarily easy with the volatility, but if you're very good at identifying where the big support levels are, where the big resistance levels are, and again, you should be identifying that not now, not right now at 2:30 in the afternoon. You got to get your homework done early on. So we had the stock on our pre-market list. It was on the morning watch list. So we had all the time in the world in pre-market to at least identify where those levels could be. And with that, it surely has paid off. So, if you're following the smart money, following the big money for that matter, it's made for a really nice trade. And not going to toss the E word there, but it is pushing back up pretty nicely back now. The purple line on my chart is actually just a strong resistance from the chart, 1844. That wasn't really an iceberg level per se. 19 is the stronger iceberg level ahead. You could see it just moved up to 19. I don't know. Maybe it broke it. Nope, didn't even break it. It just kissed it, touched it perfectly, not even a false breakout, but it came right back down. So, hey, OPAD, given how volatile this stock still is, and I say that in a good way, volatility creates opportunity. We'll put this stock on the main list to begin. The OPAD stock, it was also breaking all-time highs going into this morning's pre-market. So, furthermore, that's as good of a reason as any to try and follow this stock here. All right. So, it's funny. I made a brief mention for any of my old school wrestling heads, professional wrestling. I don't watch it nowadays, but I used to as a kid growing up. It was funny. It's like, this was like a Royal Rumble day where after one stock making its move, it was another. And then after that, it was another stock making its entrance and making a big pop and breakout here. So as we keep going, you'll see what I mean. We'll go to LIDR. I don't really remember calling this one out at least, but it looks like this made a nice pop today. Ended up making a push roughly from 750, maybe even that 7. Ended up breaking out over 9 pretty nicely heading into the early parts of the afternoon. Hell, this stock topped off all the way above 12, 1225, but I just think the stock get halted on the way down, got halted on the way up. And then I guess just off the reopen from the halt, this stock got clobbered. It didn't get halted on the way down, but nonetheless, that was pretty much the end of the show on this stock here, LIDR. All right. We'll keep it going, though. We got the warrants for the IRNT. We'll skip over that at least. LPTX, one of the many stocks that were a part of kind of our Royal Rumble today, right? Stock ended up dumping off at first. We thought it was going to be a bust actually after it broke below a couple of huge iceberg orders on the bid. Normally, that's a very bad sign once the support level breaks. There were two of them, in fact. I think at 239, the opening print, and then also I think at like 230 or 229 somewhere. Long story short, no pun intended, I ended up jumping in this trade right here after 11:30 Eastern time. I could have had it from the other support level if I jumped to it earlier, but ended up breaking back above that major level, 239. And this is the type of stock, at least you could trade 2,000 shares on, depending on your account size, perhaps just certainly more than the typical position you would trade. It's cheap. It has really good liquidity on the order book, consistently tight spread. So it reminds us, well, hey, let's take a look at the CEI stock, right? Reminds us a lot like CEI, just with how tight of a spread the stock had and how filled in the order book. This stock actually came off of I guess good news given the reaction, but a very sharp drop off of the news regarding their 8K filing and pre-market CEI. But hell, this stock is still kind of close to the highs right now, breaking above the highs from yesterday and Tuesday, that is. So, I'm sure I'll come to the CEI in just a moment, but wouldn't shock me if this gets added to the main list. For the LPTX stock, though, going back to this stock now, I had made mention just earlier in the afternoon, about 20 minutes before we started the meeting, that I was long on this trade from 269. Right here, I was hopeful for another pop and a breakout, run up to 280. Obviously didn't get it. I ended up taking a 3-cent loss. I stopped myself out at 266. So unfortunately, it took a small loss there. Nothing really big at all. But obviously, it just seems like this stock isn't really poised to make a pop now at this stage. So, I don't know. Keep it on your side list. The LPTX trade here, perhaps we'll come back to it if it does make a big pop as I keep going through this scanner here. But we'll see what else we got. IRNT, more from, really, it made a dip shortly after the market opened up. Bit of a slingshot from 38 up to 46. Looks like it's making the same damn move right now, actually. It's making a push back up here, as you can see, up towards 44, 44.50-ish. Hey, I'll say this with any more of a level 4 or 5 stock, but if you did well on this stock from earlier today, hell, if you did well on OPAD earlier today, you know who you are. It's as simple as that. If you're a lot more uncomfortable trying to follow a stock that has a 20, 30-cent spread, then hey, there's going to be plenty of other fish out there in the sea to try and catch, right? So, I'll put this on the main list for right now, given where it's standing here. The nice push back up from 38 back up to 44 and 44.50. But I would be extremely careful, though, just making sure that you're looking for the the strongest possible levels. Actually, as we're talking, you can see this breaking 45 right now. Actually, it made a spike up to 45.32 and pulled back. But look at the tape. This is why I'm saying you need to follow the stronger levels here, folks, because, off that crazy pop and drop, well, it looks like an iceberg order got filled exactly at 45. And we would assume for that to be the case anyway. But it just goes to show, literally just reading the tape, you're able to identify where we had the next resistance. So, hey, I would assume 45 to be the next major top here still on this trade. All right. For any of my bros out here today, BROS. I don't know what this company is. Dutch Bros Inc. New IPO, relatively expensive, as a crazy ass spread, just like the IRNT trade. So, hey, if you want to fancy yourself and trade this stock with it breaking all time highs today, that's a good reason to try and follow any stock. That's why we're trying to follow OPAD. But again, we got to try and maximize our opportunity here for something that's a $49 stock. Although it's breaking all-time highs, it's got a crazy spread. If you want to gamble, this is your stock. If you don't want to gamble, we'll find plenty of others, folks. All right. So, hey, TUEM ended up making a nice move today. I didn't jump into this, but one of many that we ended up calling out, putting on our watch list and trading effectively after the market opened up. Pot from 2 upwards to 225, ended up peaking right around 234 heading into the late morning. But yeah, right now stock's really flat. So obviously it doesn't look nearly as good now compared to what it had done from earlier today. All right, so we'll keep it going. ARQQ. I remember this stock back from last week. We called it out. It was a pop and drop type of play, but ended up making actually a nice squeeze up. This one, I guess, fell under our radar here, made the pop up without us calling it out, but made a move from 16 or 15.50-ish upwards towards 20. Got halted in between there, but when it reopened up, obviously this thing ended up just crapping out the other way. Really nasty shake back down. It's a shame. If I could show that INDP stock, the charts are all screwed up on TradeStation. But from where we had left off on the INDP stock from yesterday, I told you the stock was more likely than not to tank, and it did. It reminds me of this stock here, ARQQ, at the pop up that we had, the nasty shake. Hey, it's squeezing back up a bit here. It's not going to shock me to see another dollar or 2 point drop off. If not heading into the close today, then perhaps come tomorrow morning. All right, can I finally jump to it now? I can. Good. About time. All right, so full disclosure, I'm in TMC. So I ended up jumping in this trade right from 12. I ended up getting stopped out at first on a trade I was in from $12.13. I was anticipating a higher low to be built actually before it kisses 12, and I guess I was wrong with that. I was trying to base it off of the initial low of the day within the first 30 minutes of the market opening up. So it's just to say this though, folks, for right now, this stock with it breaking above 12 here on the way up, I was, ready to try and see this stock make a really nice run. I'm up 10 cents on it right now, or like, 8 or 10 cents on it. I'm in from like 12.02 entry price, I believe. I have my stop set. So if it craps out the other way, I'll close, take a loss. But yeah, for right now, TMC, I'll keep it on our side list. It had dumped off after the market opened up today. And although it's popping or although it broke over 12 here, and although I'm in the trade, it's got to really begin to go like TikTok, like really soon, right now. I would love to see this begin to explode, because if it doesn't, I know what direction this thing's going in. So unless it ends up popping right back up here, then I'm not as ready to put it on our main watch list, at least for those that aren't in this stock already. All right, skip around a bit, jump back to Life. Life was kind of on the side list. It was the stock that we started this meeting off with at 2:30 here. So, hey, it's still a good setup around 10. I'll check back in with it one more time at least before we finish up. Man, it got so many warrants out there right now. NAK, ooh, a little cheapy here. Nice push on NAK. We normally don't, trade stocks, very inexpensive below a buck, because normally they don't make as consistent of a move. But hey, this stock's making a nice move right now, and it's getting close to the highs that we had back from last week and the week before, perhaps. Keep it on the side, I guess. Keep a small eye on it afterwards here, perhaps. All right, I think a little ask and I shall receive on TMC, by the way, folks. I'll jump back to that trade just once we finish up. LKCO. This was one from the pre-market. This looked really interesting leading into the open. Unfortunately, this was actually more of a bust than anything. I guess it made a small little pop after 9:30, but shortly afterwards, like even before 10 o'clock Eastern time, the stock ended up dumping off. So, hey, it could have made for a quick little opportunity at first, but again, volume died off. And when the volume dies off for a stock, we know what's going to happen after. All right. Then CEI, we jump back to, I guess, at this point, right? So CEI, we showed very briefly here a moment ago. Listen, it's got a 109,000 share iceberg on the ask at 184. After that, you think that there's going to be a major top off of 2, but there's also one on the order book here at 195. So there's definitely just a lot of volume for this CEI trade to cut through and pop through in order for it to even sniff to $2, that is. So I don't know. I'm not as keen to put this on our main list right now. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be really straightforward with you folks here, because I wouldn't be me without being just completely honest. This stock was such a tease yesterday. So there is a little bias with this, because I got chopped around on this trade. It's not like I got my, ass handed to me, but, it's just after several break evens and minus ones or minus twos. Listen, it's not a lot of money lost, but it was frustrating, right? So it ended up making a very sudden pop going into like 1:15 Eastern time here today. Bobby called it out, but it hasn't done anything since. So you know what? I'm going to pass on putting this on the main list. If it ends up popping, right once we finish up this meeting, as soon as I'm off the mic, if it does, hey, at that point we'll call it out. All right, so what we'll do is jump right over to the losers list right now, folks. There wasn't a whole lot down a lot this morning, at least, but um, yeah, market dropped off after the market opened up, made a small bounce, and is really flat right now. So I'll tell you, MGNX made a nice drop today from like 27 down to sub 20, albeit it is, making a bit of a push up right now. I don't really feel a need to put the stock on our main watch list here. I mean, it has very thin volume on the book, kind of like some of the others that are making a sharper trend up. So, a little pick and choose there. I'd rather focus on something else. CDE, I think a mining stock, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty flat right now. Not much else that I see, folks. The only thing that really piqued my interest outside of what we've kind of scanned for so far, and I'm not going to put it on our list unless if it's tanking. It's not the Neo stocks. So there was some news out this morning or overnight regarding, I don't know, I forgot the name off the top of my head. Big Chinese real estate developer. They ended up defaulting on a lot of bonds. So, that's why the China market was down a lot today. Yin, China bullish ETF was down like 7+% this morning. So I was looking for a big drop off after the open on a lot of the Chinese stocks. Didn't get it. And if anything, right now you can see Yin is still kind of at the highs and I guess trying to slightly recover. Yeah, Patrick, that was it. Evergrande, the real estate developer there. All right. Chuck on OPAD, nice 37-cent profit. He was in from just around 18, and hey, the stock's already on our list at this point, just given the overall volatility here. But it's really got to pop over 19. That's the major level if you want to see continuation. Life is pushing off at 10. There's the pop. All right. So if there is any sort of run on this life stock here, it's like right now. So that's what we call the setup. It's worth the opportunity if we can get a pop over major resistance. We did, but is it going to continue to go? It's made a nice pop so far off the level. So for that reason in particular, I am going to put this on the main list here, the life stock. But if it slams right back under 10, then I would just scrap it at that point. All right. There we go. Nice profit from one of us on YouTube today. RJF, welcome back. It's been a little while, I think, since I've seen you there. Got 30 cents. He was in from 9.90, so that means it got out right at 10.20 there. Excellent. Up, perfect. Yes. Yes. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Tick tock. All right. So TMC. Now I feel a lot more comfortable putting this on the main list here. There we go. All right. So, with that in mind, folks, I'll tell you what, unless if anything is looking like this year, the TMC pop, that is, unless if anything is looking like this stock, then I would call it. I don't think there's much else that we're going to be really that interested in right now at this point. If this slams back down suddenly and like makes some freak stop out, that would be the most embarrassing thing ever. Folks, if there's anything else, definitely let me know. Got one stock here for us. I got one. I don't think anyone had called it out yet. BCTX, it's not up like 5+% or more. It's just at the highs. Got a new high of the day alert on it. It's trading such little volume though, and I'm realizing that live right now. Nope, we're gonna pass on this stock for the meantime. No go. All right, folks, I'm going to tell you what, I got to focus on this TMC trade before I start losing profits on it. I'm in from 12. So I'm going to post the list right now for all of us on YouTube today and all of us on Facebook. Actually, before you go, how about this? Notice on the banner below, it's not the same old link to buy the trial, but actually for all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, feel more than free to join us coming up this upcoming Tuesday. That's September 21st for a special edition of our Traders Talk Q&A workshop. We are going to continue to host that inside the Cyber Group room. I always say this maybe 2 or 3 times across the whole calendar year. We do this workshop on YouTube just to give a quick taste of what it's to be like inside the Cyber Group room. So that's coming up on Tuesday, September 21st. So for Doug or RJF or Josh Penn or Daniel F on YouTube today and anyone else otherwise, if you would like to join on our workshop, you can go right to our YouTube stream, YouTube channel, that is, if you're not already there, that being youtube.com/cybertradingyou. But if you'd like to ask any questions in advance for that workshop coming up on Tuesday, and there's going to be a couple of days in between, of course. We got a lot of stocks to talk about today, a lot of stocks to talk about tomorrow, I'm sure, and on Monday of next week. But, if you have any questions, if you are going to be joining us for our Traders Talk workshop on Tuesday, the 21st, what you could do is send over a quick email in advance right to my email address, josh@ctutrading.com. For all of our students in the trading room right now, like Patrick and Chuck and Bonnie and Kathleen and Ray and Brett, all of us otherwise, you folks know already. So, just on Tuesday, I know that I'll get a bunch of emails from everyone there. Yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that. We'll keep reminding all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live going into tomorrow and really going into the 21st. All right, we good? From Norman here at the horn here at the buzzer. We got the RSI stock, not the indicator, the equity. Too choppy. Too choppy right now, Norman. I mean, it's at the highs. It's up 12+%. So all of that I like, and it's trading about 9,000 shares per minute in relation to the other orders out there on the book. That's that's a decent amount actually. But for right now, just like it looks so choppy. I'd rather follow something looking a little bit sharper, perhaps. All right, folks. So for right now, I'm going to call it. I'm going to clock out on this TMC trade very shortly here. If not, like right around 1283 where it's at, then probably right around 13. All right, folks. But aside from that, I look forward to speaking to all of us live inside the trading room in just a few moments. I'll be back on the mic right around 3:30. Talk to you soon.